I didn't forward that email to my manager. I didn't explain myself. I scheduled a meeting with the CEO's assistant for the next morning and went back to work. They thought I was just a quiet analyst who didn't speak up. They were about to learn I'm a strategic thinker who documents everything and waits for the right moment. My name is Alex Morgan. I'm 32 years old. I work at Tech Venture Capital in San Francisco as a senior investment analyst. For 5 years, I've been creating the work that built my manager's career while staying in the same position. And for the past 2 years, I've been keeping a detailed record of every project he stole, every idea he claimed, every promotion he got using my work. Hit subscribe to Verdict Stories. Drop your city in the comments. If you've ever had a manager or coworker steal your work, take your credit, or climb the ladder on your ideas, this story is for you. Because sometimes the best response to theft is patient documentation and waiting for the thief to get too confident. The email from our CEO landed in my inbox at 9:47 a.m. Subject line: Outstanding Q4 performance. I opened it out of curiosity. Company-wide announcements usually went to everyone. Dear Alex, your work on the Reynolds acquisition integration has been exceptional. The strategy documents, financial models, and implementation roadmap you created saved this company $4.20 million and positioned us for sustainable growth. I'd like to discuss your future with this company. Please schedule time with my assistant this week. Best regards, Robert Chen, CEO. My manager Daniel stood behind me. He'd walked over to check on something and saw the email over my shoulder. His face went white. That's a mistake. He meant to send that to me. I'll forward it to. Actually, Daniel, it's addressed to me, with my name, referencing work I did, work you presented as yours to the board last month. For 5 years, my manager had taken credit for my work, got 3 promotions, became vice president while I stayed senior analyst. What he didn't know, I'd been documenting everything, every project, every email, every timestamp proving I created what he claimed as his, and apparently the CEO had been watching. I joined Tech Venture Capital in 2019. Fresh MBA, strong finance background, eager to prove myself. Daniel Carter was my manager, director of investment analysis. He seemed supportive at first. Great work on that market analysis, Alex. I'll present it to the partners and make sure they know you did the heavy lifting. I believed him. I was 27, new to the industry, grateful for a mentor. My first major project, due diligence analysis for a potential $50 million investment in a SaaS company. I spent 3 weeks building financial models, market projections, competitive analysis. Daniel presented it to the investment committee. I wasn't invited to the meeting. Normal for junior analysts, I thought. The investment was approved. The company sent an internal announcement. Thanks to Director Daniel Carter's thorough analysis and strategic insight, my name wasn't mentioned. 2020 to 24. The pattern continued. I'd research companies, build financial models, write investment memos, create strategic frameworks. Daniel would present them as his work. His name went on the documents. His name went in the announcements. I started noticing details. My original documents had metadata showing me as the creator. Daniel's versions, submitted to leadership, had the metadata stripped and his name as author. Presentations I built in PowerPoint were copied to new files with his name in the properties. Financial models I created in Excel were cleaned up, metadata removed, before being sent upward. By 2022, I started keeping copies. Original files with timestamps, emails where I sent him drafts, calendar entries showing when I worked on projects. I didn't confront him, I just documented. Daniel was promoted to vice president. The announcement cited his exceptional track record of identifying high-value investments and creating rigorous analytical frameworks. October 2024. Our biggest opportunity yet. The Reynolds acquisition. A mid-sized competitor was available for acquisition. $280 million deal. Tech Venture was considering it, but needed thorough analysis. The CEO assigned the project to Daniel. This is high priority. I want your best work. Daniel assigned it to me. Alex, I need you to handle this. Full analysis, integration strategy, financial models, everything. Timeline, 3 weeks. I worked 70-hour weeks. Built comprehensive financial models showing the acquisition would save $4.20 million annually through operational synergies. Created a 147-page integration roadmap. Developed strategic frameworks for combining the companies. It was the best work I'd ever done. I sent everything to Daniel on November 18, 2024, 6:47 p.m. November 20th. Daniel presented to the CEO and board of directors. I wasn't invited. Again. November 25, 2024, I received an email from Robert Chen's assistant. Alex, the CEO would like to meet with you regarding the Reynolds project. Please don't mention this to anyone, including your direct manager. Tuesday, 10 a.m. Don't mention it to my manager? I showed up Tuesday. Robert Chen's corner office, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking San Francisco. Alex, sit down. I want to ask you about the Reynolds analysis. Of course. What would you like to know? I want to know how much of it you created, versus how much Daniel created. My heart rate increased, but I kept my voice calm. I can show you the original files with timestamps, metadata, and my email correspondence with Daniel, where I sent him drafts. Robert leaned back. I thought so. How long has this been going on? 5 years, sir, since I started. And you have documentation? Complete documentation. Every project, every email, every file with creation dates and author information. I sent Robert a 89-page PDF, organized chronologically, every major project from 2019 to 2024. For each project, my original files with metadata showing creation date and author, email where I sent drafts to Daniel, Daniel's version with metadata strip, company announcement crediting Daniel, side-by-side comparison. The Reynolds acquisition analysis was just the latest example. November 27th, Robert's assistant called. The CEO wants to see you and Daniel together. Tomorrow 9 a.m. conference room C. Don't prepare anything. Just show up. November 28th, 9 a.m. I arrived at conference room C. Daniel was already there, looking confident. Do you know what this is about? No idea, I lied. Robert walked in. HR Director Michelle Santos followed. Thank you both for coming. Daniel, I asked you to join me this morning because I've been reviewing the Reynolds acquisition work. I have some questions about authorship. Daniel smiled. Of course. Happy to discuss my process. Daniel tried to argue. This is absurd. I managed those projects. Management gets credit for team output. Robert cut him off. Management credits the team. You erased the team. You presented junior analyst's work as your own sole creation. That's fraud. Security escorted Daniel out within 30 minutes. Robert turned to me. Alex, I need to apologize. I should have caught this sooner. How did you catch it? The Reynolds analysis. I've been in this industry for 25 years. Daniel's previous presentations were good but surface level. The Reynolds work was exceptional. Different writing style. Different analytical depth. I asked IT to pull the original file metadata. Your name was all over it. Then I looked at previous projects. Same pattern. Your metadata. His name on the final versions. I had Michelle investigate. 2 weeks of digging confirmed what you just documented in that PDF. December 2024, I was promoted to Director of Investment Analysis. Daniel's old position, March 2025. I now manage a team of analysts. First thing I did, establish a policy. Every project has clear authorship. Every presentation credits the actual creators. Every analyst presents their own work to leadership when possible. I learned what it feels like to be erased. I'll never do that to someone else. Daniel tried to find work at other VC firms. Word spreads in this industry. Took credit for subordinates' work for 5 years isn't a resume highlight. Last I heard, he's doing independent consulting, making a fraction of his VP salary. If you've made it this far, drop a comment. Tell me your city. Tell me if you've ever had someone steal your work. Workplace credit theft happens. Managers who build careers on other people's ideas exist, but metadata doesn't lie. Timestamps don't lie, and sometimes the CEO is paying closer attention than the thief realizes. My name is Alex Morgan. I'm 33 years old. I'm a senior director at a venture capital firm, and I'm someone who learned that the best response to systematic credit theft is systematic documentation. They thought I didn't notice. I noticed from year one. They thought I was too junior to speak up. I was building a case. They thought quiet meant weak. Quiet meant strategic. I stayed calm. I documented everything. I waited for the right moment, and when the CEO's email arrived addressed to me, proving he knew the truth all along, the 5 years of patience paid off. The verdict is always calm, the documentation is always thorough, and metadata always tells the truth. My manager took credit for my work for 5 years and got 3 promotions. The CEO's email was addressed to me. His career ended. Mine began. January 2025, promoted again to senior director with a 40% salary increase. The CEO email that started everything, the one addressed to me, went company-wide. I want to publicly recognize Alex Morgan for exceptional work on the Reynolds acquisition and numerous other projects over the past 5 years. Alex's analytical rigor and strategic thinking have been instrumental to our success, and I'm pleased to announce Alex's promotion to Senior Director. I'm asking about Alex's process, because the original files show Alex created every document, every model, every framework. You simply removed the metadata and put your name on them. Daniel's smile disappeared. Alex is on my team. The work product belongs to the company, but credit belongs to the creator. I've reviewed 5 years of projects. Alex created the work. You systematically took credit. 3 promotions built on someone else's work. Michelle opened a folder. We've completed our investigation. You're terminated for cause. Effective immediately. Fraud, misrepresentation, and violation of company intellectual property policies. Send it to me. Everything, by end of day. November 22nd. Company-wide email. VP Daniel Carter's exceptional analysis on the Reynolds acquisition has positioned Tech Venture for strategic growth. My name, nowhere. But this time, something was different. Every example they listed was my work. At the celebration, he gave a speech. Success in this industry requires vision, discipline, and analytical rigor. I'm grateful to have built a strong team that executes on these principles. I sat in the back of the room, clapped politely, said nothing, but I went home and updated my documentation file, added the announcement, cross-referenced every project they'd mentioned with my original files proving I'd created them. By early 2024, I had 2 years of comprehensive evidence. I asked Daniel about it. Don't worry about credit, Alex. In this business, the team's success is what matters. Your work contributed to a win. That's what counts. I accepted that explanation. I was young. I didn't know better. 6 months later, Daniel was promoted to Senior Director.